Hello and welcome to another Momento Malum today. For this day, we'll be covering a few ideas I've had regarding how to improve the gene pool within apples and other fruit trees. Let's get started. In most common breeding systems, there's a tendency to breed elite with elite. The cycle goes like this. An elite cultivar is bred, that cultivar is bred with another elite cultivar, the resulting progeny gets released to a new elite cultivar, and that cultivar becomes used as a new breeding parent. This effectively means that over time the gene pool becomes narrower and narrower as a smaller number of genotypes get used to make the next generation. In many instances, there is a severe founder effect in many fruit trees, especially apples, in which most apple cultivars in modern times are descended from at least one of 5 cultivars: Red and Golden Delicious, Jonathan, Macintosh, and Cox Orange Pippin. This effectively means that a great many of our cultivars are half-sibling, and several of our modern cultivars have a certain degree of inbreeding within it. A similar phenomenon has been happening with both peaches and cherries as well. The consequences of inbreeding are well known, so I'm not going to linger on it too long, but I will give the solution to inbreeding: new genetic diversity. The addition of more genetically diverse lineages into the common gene pool. I have selected some candidates, of which I've already collected a small number of them. These include Orleans Renette, which is scab resistant and possibly fire blight resistant; Margil, which is susceptible to fire blight but highly resistant to scab; Sweet 16, which has mixed results regarding its resistance to fire blight; Golden Harvey is resistant to scab, unknown resistance to fire blight; Brownlee's Russet, probable resistance to fire blight, definite resistance to scab; Pitmessin Pineapple passes on resistance to fire blight as well, as does the French apple Fenouillet Grise. Apples that I have not yet gotten a hold of, but I'm working on, include Rosemary Russet, passes on fire blight resistance; Arkansas Black, passes on fire blight resistance; Adams Pearmain, possibly fire blight resistant; Northwestern Greening passes on fire blight resistance; and the Autumn Pearmain, which also passes on fire blight resistance. What is required for this to happen, however, is 2 things. One is a readily available means of testing for fire blight resistance. Scab is a common disease that's found in every single orchard that exists. So if you plant a fair amount of different cultivars, you'll be able to see the differences between cultivars in terms of disease resistance to scab within several years, so long as you keep a good list of notes regarding how they're performing. Fire blight, on the other hand, is quite rare and varies quite significantly in severity, but when it hits hard, it can wipe out an entire orchard if the varieties are susceptible. The other element needed to act as an incentive source for new pedigree additions would be homesteaders and organic farmers. Organic farming is always a little bit more expensive due to the higher labor costs associated with organic farming methods. As such, the only way of dealing with the situation is to provide the average buyer a variety of apple that's not often seen, an organic variety that can be popular in its own right. Within Ontario, the common organic apple is the Golden Russet. Although susceptible to fire blight, it is quite resistant to scab, making it suitable for farming in most instances. Within a conventional system, however, the incentives are always pushing towards a very specific color scheme and storage capability within these cultivars. So it'll be much harder for individuals within the conventional framework to produce truly unique genotypes. As such, plant breeders that work for organic farming systems have a lot more leeway in order to broaden the gene pool and create unique flavor profiles. From what I've seen working with organic farmers on the current breeding project, there is a high level of interest in developing new varieties with unique flavor profiles. As of right now, the only thing missing is a readily available source of disease resistance testing for fire blight resistance. There's extensive work in vitro solutions to this problem. There is an tissue culture method which allows for the tissue culture samples of a particular plant to be screened for fire blight resistance. It works to the same degree that more conventional means of testing for fire blight resistance, which is growing a tree, putting it in a greenhouse, and infecting the tree with fire blight to see how far the infection goes before it stops. Both systems have a heavy bias towards false negatives. Both systems come with a heavy economic cost as well, but the tissue culture system can be done in bulk, far easier than the greenhouse system, and can be done with far less time use. As such, the creation of such testing facilities and a greater focus on the organic farming system would actually improve the genetic diversity of apples and fruit trees in general going forward. Alright, you have my thoughts on the topic of how to improve the apple gene pool within North America. I'm planning on adding this information into this book I'm writing. But before I do, I want a critique on this concept. Criticism can only help me grow, so feel free to leave any comments in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed it and think you can donate, you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. Thank you for watching.